Dropping out of high school at 17 years old, then proceeding to drop one of the hardest songs to ever hit the internet, doing this with no help from a record label, no airplay on the radio, and little to no media coverage, may seem impossible. But for Jase Onfroy, better known as XXXTentacion, this was just his reality. We all know X for becoming one of the first rappers to make the subgenre known as emo rap blow up in the mainstream media. But what many people don't really know is that he is also the creator of a whole new subgenre that is thriving today. Many can say it's even more popular than emo rap, but he doesn't really get the credit he deserves for it, if not any at all. From the jump, coming from his SoundCloud days, then entering into the mainstream rap scene, X just seemed different from every other rapper that was out at the time. From his music, to his personality, and even the way he dressed, he just seemed like his own person. And that was what made him so popular and loved by fans. Coming from South Florida, X in his early years of making music drew inspirations from rappers like Chief Keef, Kanye West, Tupac, and Lil Wayne. But this is where X started to become different from everyone else. Because not only was he a hip-hop fan, he was also a fan of alternative music. With genres like rock, emo punk, metal, and even EDM, he became a fan of artists like Kurt Cobain, Gorillaz, Lana Del Rey, and 3 Days Grace. Because of his love for both genres, he would combine the two together to create a new subgenre called trap punk. Songs like Young Brats, Take a Step Back, Rip Roach, and many others became popular on the internet due to it bringing a whole new energy to hip-hop. Plus, for some reason, being perfect meme songs. With loud screams of a punk rock vocalist, bass-heavy trap beats, and vulgar but sometimes funny lyrics of a metal band, people started to grow a liking with his sound, since it was so new and fresh. His breakout song, Look At Me, incorporated all of these examples. And for many artists, Look At Me served as a pivotal moment, sorta like Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana, exposing the world to a distorted, angry, and proudly demo-quality underground sound. And with Look At Me peaking at number 34 on the Billboard Top 100 chart, it was clear that everyone was loving it. Its vulgar and graphic lyrics were pretty shocking, but what really set it apart was its distorted sound, kinda like rock bands from the late 80s. The producer of Look At Me even said that it only took X about 15 minutes to even record the song, showing just how spontaneous and unfiltered he was, kinda like Chief Keef. We can also see this exact blueprint in some of the most popular artists' music today, such as Playboi Carti and Lil Uzi. Uzi and Carti can be heard inserting elements of punk rock in their music, such as distorted guitars and aggressive vocal delivery, creating a sound that blurs the line between hip-hop and alternative rock. While also being from South Florida, Denzel Curry can also be named as an influence to X's decision to make this type of music, since he was the first rapper to really bring it to light. X also became one of the first rappers to popularize lo-fi in their music. Using heavy distorted sounds to create a grainy yet raw quality, fans fell in love with this lo-fi style of music, with songs like Jocelyn Flores, The Remedy for a Broken Heart, and Everybody Dies in Their Nightmares, ranking on the Billboard charts, just going to show how big of a hold he had on music at the time. He would often use samples from Shiloh Dynasty and make them into his own. Shiloh Dynasty would also become a popular source for artists who wanted to make lo-fi music, such as Juice WRLD, Young Thug, and Russ, showing just how popular the sound had become. Around 2017 to 2019, X's influence on the music industry could be seen all over, particularly in the rise of his lo-fi, emo-centric sound. With industry plans starting to pop out of nowhere, record labels around this time started to sign rappers who embraced this type of aesthetic, due to the fact of how popular and marketable emo rap was at the time. Although Lil Peep might have been the king of emo rap, X's impact was huge, especially on young listeners who connected to his message of struggle and self-discovery. This gave him a sense of relatability, which was what made him so beloved among fans. His music wasn't afraid to tackle tough topics, and that fearlessness inspired others to speak their truth as well. His songs were windows into his life, resonating with fans who understood his pain. Being a genre that was solely based on being tough and rugged, X's honest approach stood out, offering something different and real in the industry, similar to Kanye. And to showcase just how much he was able to connect with an audience on a deep emotional level, in August 2017, he dropped his debut album, 17. But despite having a runtime of just under 22 minutes, 17 still managed to debut at number 2 on the Billboard Top 200 chart, addressing the themes of depression, heartbreak, and suicidal thoughts. X's name had become so big at this point that even Kendrick Lamar had co-signed the album, and even brought him out to open for his Damn album tour. He was even there to support X when Spotify took down his album due to them having a policy to pull down controversial artists from their playlisting. Kendrick went on to social media and threatened to take his music off of Spotify if it wasn't changed, in the end helping X to get his album back on Spotify. By the time of his tragic passing in June 2018, X had amassed over 8 billion streams on Spotify alone, solidifying his status as one of the most influential artists of this generation. In comparing X's career to another artist, some may say he was similar to Darby Crash, who was the singer for one of the first punk bands ever, The Germs. Crash's emotional charged performances resonated deeply with the audience, much like X did for his fans. Despite their differences in eras and genre, both artists left a lasting impact on music before their untimely deaths. Kanye himself acknowledged X's influence, expressing gratitude for his existence and the inspiration he gave to him. In addition to his musical influence, X's grunge emo fashion style has also left its mark on today's rappers and fans. His distinctive look, characterized by oversized clothes, abundance of black, and chain jewelry, continues to be emulated by artists and fans. His mix of streetwear, punk, and goth can still be seen in rappers today. He was one of the first rappers to dress like this, even before Playboi Carti started to. Unfortunately, in June of 2018, X's short story would tragically come to an end with his untimely passing. Although X has passed away, he left behind a lasting legacy and influence that can still be felt today even 6 years later. His impact created a shift in the way hip-hop sounds today, similar to when Kanye dropped 808s and Heartbreak. With the new trend of trap punk now on the rise, X can be the reason for this by laying down the foundation for the subgenre to succeed years earlier. If it wasn't for his death, he arguably could have been at the same level as Playboi Carti, maybe even higher. But unlike X, Carti's journey started just like any other up-and-coming rapper. But mysteriously, something happened in his career that caused him to make the change people would have never expected. Click here to find out.